Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Straight Fire Picks. Best bets for college football week 14, championship week here on Saturday, December 4th, 2021. My name is Steve and we're going to have 4 picks here for you today that I think are great value bets for this Saturday college football slate. As always, just want to thank you all for your continued support on the channel. If you are new to the channel here today, please be sure to drop a like and a subscribe. Always appreciate that. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Would love to knock that out this week. I really do appreciate all of you here at the channel. You guys absolutely rock. Be sure to also check out our community Discord page. I'll have a link in the comment section and in the description where you can check that out. It's a great place to connect with our community. Be sure to also place your favorite pick down below in the comment section. If you'd like your pick included in our comment capper section, just be sure to put a star or an asterisk next to your pick, and we'll include it in the video if it hits. Alright, now getting into the results from the previous episode. So for our comment cappers, we had Gotta Get the Bag, calling the under 14 points in the first quarter of the Michigan-Ohio State game. Was able to cash that one. Great cash there for Gotta Get the Bag. Hopping on some college football there. As far as our stream bets, we went 2-1. Continuing a nice winning trend here that we've had at the channel. That's 3 straight winning weeks here for us. 7-2 in our last 3 weeks, so we will take that obviously. Another winning episode last week. We had the Michigan plus 7.5 spread. Cash that with ease. Obviously, Michigan straight up won that game. Wish I called that money line, but what can you do? We also had the over in the Oklahoma State game. Once again, the over cashes in the Bedlam series. Cashed that one easy. Just about had that cashed at halftime. So, very easy on that. And we just missed on the under in the Penn State Michigan State game. Defense has finally settled down after the first quarter. It looked like we were going to cash most of that game, and then there was a pick 6 in the second half, and really a garbage touchdown late that didn't need to be scored. But what can you do? We're going to get after it today, though, guys. We're going to keep this winning momentum going. Like I said, 7-2 in the last 3 weeks. Let's get this 4-0 here today. So let's get right into our picks. At number 1, we are rolling with the over 48.5 points here in the Georgia-Alabama game at minus 114 odds. So coming into this game, Alabama 5th, Georgia 6th in scoring offense. So both these teams can definitely score the ball. Both of them have very talented offenses and defenses, honestly. They're very good on both sides of the ball. Trying to get into that college football playoff. Looks like Georgia should be pretty well locked. Obviously, if they win this game, they'll be there. And still should have a pretty good chance even if they don't win the game. But, we'll see what happens. The over is 8-2 in the last 10 meetings between these two teams, head-to-head, and 8 of the last 9. So it's a very good trend there. These teams score points when they get together, and I don't look for anything really to be different. The offenses are still there and still very talented. The over is also 8-3 in SEC championship games in the last 11. So that's a very good trend as well. You're playing inside the dome there in Atlanta, so I think that helps the offenses. No exposure to elements, nothing like that. And, I'm expecting, again, a fairly high-scoring game here. And Georgia-Alabama, when they've met in the SEC title game here in the last 11 years, they've met twice and cashed this over in both games with ease. So, like I said, not looking for anything really to change here on that front. I know Georgia's, defense has been great all year, but they have not been tested with an offense like Alabama here. So, definitely expecting Alabama to put up some points, and definitely for sure on Georgia, Alabama, honestly, the last few weeks has honestly struggled on the defensive side of the ball as well. They gave up 35 points to Arkansas 2 weeks ago. They gave up 22 last week to Auburn, but, when I watch Auburn play offense, it's not that impressive to hold them to 22. Auburn's not a scary offense to me there with Bo Nix. And, Alabama honestly should have straight up lost that game, but they squeaked out a win there. And, like I said, Alabama's not going to really be able to play a sloppy brand of defense against Georgia and be able to get away with it at all. Georgia, I could honestly see a scenario where Georgia cashes this over by themselves if Alabama doesn't come ready to play. Expect the over to cash. Either way, I think Alabama will put up enough points here to help us out. And, 48.5 in college football is pretty low, especially for these teams. So a little bit there for our number 1 pick. The over 48.5 points here in the Georgia-Alabama game at minus 114 odds. Okay, and at number 2, we are rolling with the Michigan Wolverines minus 10.5 spread here versus the Iowa Hawkeyes at minus 108 odds. So coming into this game, Michigan is one of the best against the spread teams this year. They have been one of the best bets, and we've been on a lot of those bets, which I love. Michigan 10-2 against the spread this season. Iowa just 7-5 against the spread on the year. Michigan is also 6-3 in the last 9 games versus Iowa as well, so that's obviously very good. And Michigan here has a lot to play for. They're playing for the college football playoff spot here. They have to win this game, really, even though, they had a lot of impressive wins here on their slate lately with, Penn State beating Ohio State last week. That was huge. And, I think they get it done here, and honestly, they win convincingly over an Iowa team that's really lacking the punch on offense. Iowa's 87th in scoring offense, and that's really the biggest difference in this game. If you look across the board, in the other categories, pretty evenly matched as far as in defense. Iowa has a very solid defense, 9th in scoring defense here for Iowa. Michigan 8th in scoring defense. But like I said, on the offensive side, Michigan is 13th in scoring offense. So they're very good on both sides of the ball, led there by Cade McNamara and those two, very excellent running backs there in Corum and Haskins. So I'm expecting, honestly, that to be the difference is the Michigan running game. I've seen Iowa get a little bit loose on defense in a couple games this year. I'm thinking of the Wisconsin game, and I'm thinking of that Purdue game where the defense really didn't live up to the standards. And then it's going to be one of these games here where, I just think Michigan's not going to be able to be stopped, even by Iowa. No offense to Iowa. I just think the running game here of Michigan will take over here with Haskins and Corum, and that'll open up Cade McNamara and the passing game as well. So, I really love it here, guys. Michigan, a lot of motivation here, a lot to play for, and Jim Harbaugh, I think, has turned a corner here. With that win over Ohio State, that was a big moment for him. I think they come out and they get it done in this title game. So take it there for your number 2 pick. Michigan Wolverines minus 10.5 spread here versus the Iowa Hawkeyes at minus 108 odds. Okay, and at number 3, we're rolling with the Houston Cougars plus 10.5 spread here versus the Cincinnati Bearcats at minus 112 odds. So yeah, I know I just made the argument here for Michigan about playing for a college football playoff spot, and Cincinnati is going to be doing the same thing. Why don't I have the same confidence in Cincinnati? Well, I've seen them play a couple pretty shaky games this season against lower competition. So, they had, the ESPN crew, on site for the Cincinnati-Tulsa game. And Tulsa, I don't consider them to be a great team. And that was a very, very close game that Tulsa honestly could have won. So, I've seen Cincinnati play like that more than a few times this year where I go, man, they're just not making their case. They could have had some really great convincing wins, and they just have not impressed in that category. Some of the games they just have not impressed as far as style points go. And, Houston's a very good team here coming in. They're not a team to be taken lightly. They're 19th in scoring defense. They're 10th in scoring offense. So they rank inside the top 20 in both categories. They're on an 11-game winning streak. They're led by quarterback Clayton Tune. He's 13th in all the land and pass efficiency. So, am I saying that Houston could keep this close? Absolutely. I think Houston keeps this within 10 points for sure. I still believe Cincinnati wins this game, and ultimately, I think they're going to deserve a spot in the playoff regardless because they don't have a loss on the resume. But Houston, I think, covers here. I don't see Houston getting blown out in this championship game where, honestly, I've seen Cincinnati look very pedestrian in a lot of games this year. Granted, they have some great wins as well. They've beaten Notre Dame. I think they're a very good football team. I'm excited to see them play. I want to see them in the playoff. They're a good underdog story for sure. And, Cincinnati's also very good. And it's no real dog on them. They're 3rd in scoring defense, 8th in scoring offense. So they're definitely right there with the elite teams. But I don't see them rolling to a blowout here. I think Houston keeps it close. And, like I said, Houston coming in here on an 11-game winning streak really is honestly been playing great on both sides of the ball. Houston can really stop the run, too. They rank inside the top 10 for rushing defense as well. So I really like that. Where is the game going to be won? A lot of games are won inside the trenches. If you could stop the run, that's a great start for keeping a ball game close. So love it there for our number 3 pick. Houston Cougars plus 10.5 spread here versus Cincinnati at minus 112 odds. Okay, and finally at number 4, we are rolling with the Oklahoma State Cowboys minus 5.5 spread here versus the Baylor Bears at minus 106 odds. So these two teams already met once this season, with Oklahoma State winning the game 24-14. And that was a ball game where, Spencer Sanders, the quarterback here for Oklahoma State, threw 3 interceptions. So what does that tell me? That tells me that Oklahoma State could play a bad football game and still win, which is very impressive. They actually did it last week. Sanders 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions last week. They still beat Oklahoma. These are not scrub football teams. Oklahoma, Baylor, very good football teams. They're still taking care of business even when they're screwing up. So, I'm relying on Sanders to improve on that mark and not turn the football over, especially in a championship game. So, that's the big thing there. But the fact that he could get away with that and still win, that means they have a phenomenal defense. Their defense is just all pro. They're very, very good. Even watching the game last week, some of the Oklahoma touchdowns, you just had to hand it to Oklahoma. There were throws that, Caleb Williams made there for Oklahoma that I was like, holy cow. And, catches as well were just heavily contested. The defense honestly looked very good still there for Oklahoma State. They're 5th in scoring defense on the season. And their offense ain't bad either. They're 43rd in scoring offense as well. Obviously not the strength of the team. But Sanders is capable, particularly with his legs as well, but got to avoid the turnovers. That's something I want to see in this game. I just want to see Oklahoma State not turn the football over, and I think they win this game easy. They're another one of these teams that has a lot to play for, but different than Cincinnati in that, honestly, they can have, a somewhat lackluster performance and still win against great teams. I don't know how they do it. You look down their schedule, you're like, oh, they have some great wins over great teams where, you look at the stats, you're like, what? Sanders throwing 3 interceptions, still winning the game, convincingly. 24-14, like I said, in the first matchup there with Baylor. We like that. Oklahoma State, another one of these teams that's really great against the spread, too. 9-2-1 against the spread. Baylor is 8-4 against the spread as well. They've been a great story this year as well. But like I said, with Oklahoma State here competing for a playoff spot, I think, Gundy, very experienced as a coach here for Oklahoma State. I like that. So look for them to rely, more on the run in this game. At least they should, particularly with Spencer Sanders there at quarterback. And don't let him get into trouble with his arm. So I really like it here, guys. Take it there for your number 4 pick. Oklahoma State -5.5 spread here versus the Baylor Bears at -106 odds. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for our picks. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe. Always appreciate that. We're on the stretch run here, guys. We're on our road to 1,000 subscribers. I can't do it without you. I do appreciate you guys. We're on a heater here at the channel as far as college football goes. We're 7-2 in our last 3 weeks. Really picked it up here at the end of the season. We love to see that. We want to finish with another 4-game sweep here. And obviously, we still have some more college football stuff, but we'd love to get this 4-0 this week. Keep the winning momentum going. Let's keep winning on the channel. I wish you all the best of luck in your bets this week. Let's get after it. Let's make this money. Let's have a great week. It's going to be a fun week in college football with these championship games. Wish you all the best in your looks. Have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you next time. Peace out.